Tollgerdt Andersson, and I'm a PhD in economic psychology. I took my doctorate degree at Stockholm School of Economics, and with a doctorate dissertation, it was about leadership in big Swedish enterprises. I compared the top management in very successful enterprises to those in the unsuccessful enterprises, measured by how successful they were in the economic ways.
Amazing. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I'll just start with the first question then. First question is, how do you describe yourself as a leader in your professional life?
And if I describe myself, what I hear from people when people say things about me, I take, of course, only the good things. And it is, first of all, that I'm very clear, I'm very effective, and an ability to make very difficult things to seem very simple, so people can understand, and that's very important, I think. I am open-minded, social, charismatic, and easy to get in touch with, but also in the same way I have a lot of integrity. I never ever is private. I'm often on the social media like Facebook, but I never talk about my family and my private life when in job. Yeah. So, and also, last but not least, I have a very good professional competence. I have made a lot of research in this field. Okay,
thank you. The second question. How do you think leadership in Sweden is oriented? More relationship or more towards task?
Leadership in Sweden is, of course, as in every country, a mix of both. But if I should say, it's definitely more relationship oriented. It's very important for the group decisions and get in touch with everybody. And that could be very good, and it is good sometimes. But the weakness in the Swedish leadership, according to my research and to my experience, is that there is a lot of, it's difficult to make decisions, and there's a lot of uncertainty, which means that the co-workers do not always know what the manager expects of them. And this might be, maybe one of the reasons behind that we in Sweden have a very, very high level of people on the sick leave. Very, very high, and it's increasing all the time.
Thank you. In your article, Attitudes, Values and Demands on Leadership, a Cultural Comparison, you write that you studied advertisements for executives in different countries, including Sweden. Was there anything that you found that surprised you, or did you encounter any difficulties while conducting your study, and what were they?
A little bit I was surprised that there was such a stress on personal and social characteristics in the Swedish advertisement compared to other countries. There are some stress also in Denmark and in Norway, in the Scandinavian countries, but in Sweden there's enormous peak. If I remember right, I think it was about 80% of the advertisements that they asked for personal and social competence. And this should of course be good too, but in the same way sometimes it seems to be more important than the professional competence. And I mean, you need to have this professional base to get the co-workers, the staff following you, going with you. So sometimes I have an experience that you lack this, and I'm a lecturer. Very often I'm outspoken, speaking to all different audiences, and often I say that I rather go by the flight if the pilot drives the airplane compared to if the air hostess drives. So that's, I think you must have this professional competence.
Okay.
And difficulties. No, it wasn't so difficult up to be honest. My way to get in touch with big companies out in Europe was by the Swedish companies that I have got a very good connection to during my doctorate students. So they helped me to get in touch with companies in Germany, in Spain, in Italy, and then I could get more introduction from those companies. So it worked very well, and it was so interesting. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the Swedish management and the weakness, good things of course, but also the weakness in our leadership.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. That's a lot of information. Thank you. How do you think that Swedish leaders make decisions?
I think that Swedish leaders make decisions like everyone else. And in this way, I mean, referring to Daniel Kahneman, who was a Nobel Prize winner in 2002 in economics, he has also made a lot of studies on decision-making process. And we have in our brain we have more of course, but he talks about two fields. One that is the quick making decisions. We make, I like this, I do not like this, and it just takes couple of seconds. And then we also have the analytical decision-making process, but dominating is the emotional decision-making process. And according to Kahneman, the emotional decision-makings are as good as the analytic ones. But I guess that you more mean if you go to a Swedish working place and you have a middle manager, for example, then he or she collects the group and they have a lot of discussion. It takes a lot of time with all this meeting. I don't know if you have so much in the Netherlands. You don't have it in the southern Europe.
Yeah.
And then we have all this discussion, and every co-worker is supposed to tell his or her opinion. But in reality, it's not rare that the decisions are already made by the emotional, by the manager, or they are discussed. But we have a lot of time for implementing the decisions. That's of course very good.
Yeah.
But it takes such a time, so sometimes you forget to make the decisions at all. That's a weakness. We always have two sides of the coin.
What would absolutely not be appreciated by Swedish managers?
A Swedish manager would definitely not be too formal. He or she has to talk to everybody, to the secretary, to everyone on the workplace, and he or she will never ever have a special cantina for the top managers. You have to socialize with everyone on the workplace, so being democratic.
Okay, all right. It's a little bit like in Holland, I think.
I think there are a lot of similarities between Holland and Sweden. Yeah, definitely.
What would be your advice for people when they're going to do business in Sweden?
Yeah, that's when you come to Sweden doing business. Don't be too formal and don't dress too strict. Not jeans, but don't dress too strict. And when you meet your person you're doing business with, don't talk too personal. Don't talk about art or cultural things. Go to the target.
Yeah.
Even if the Swedes are relation-oriented, they are a little bit shy when they talk to strangers, if I generalize, of course. So that would be my advice.
Okay, great. How would you describe a current leader in Sweden?
A current leader in Sweden is trying to be as democratic as possible. He or she is delegating and striving for consensus in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
And he or she also has to make negotiations, to have a lot of meetings with not only the co-workers but also with the union. And a middle-level manager, he or she also has to take care of his own agenda. That means that we have to make the bookings on the internet. We all Swedes almost love their iPhones, so we have an agenda there.
Yeah.
The top managers, they do of course have secretaries, but not on the middle and lower management.
Okay. If you would have to make a quote about leadership in Sweden, what kind of quote would this be?
I would say managers trying to be as I told you, it's almost the same. Be as democratic as possible and trying to get every co-worker with them on the way towards the task. Consensus, delegating, I think that's it. But also a weakness, an unclarity in the decision-making process. That's the weak side.
Okay. Very nice. Could you please summarize what you would characterize as an outstanding leader in Sweden?
Yeah, an outstanding leader in Sweden is for me the same as an outstanding leader everywhere, all over the world. And for me, I think it's very important that you manage both with your brain and with your heart.
Yeah.
And this means that I think that you need to have a very, very good professional competence. Because if you are the best in your field, then you go get authority, and the co-workers, the staff will trust you, follow you, towards the goals, towards the turnovers, towards development.
Yeah.
Never forget that to have a heart, because you're working with people.
Yeah.
And everyone, you and me, everyone would like to get attention. We will be happy if someone say, good done, good work, Charles. And that's the same with everyone you're working with. So I think the advice is to take care of the people very, very much about the individuals. Trusting them and listen to them, see everyone, taking care of them.
Yeah. Okay, those were all the questions that I prepared. I would like to thank you very much for participating. I appreciate it very much. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I thank you very much. I'm looking forward to see the book.